I got my boom plays, my sleepers, and streamers for week 12 coming at you right now. Now for my boom play for week 12, it's Josh Downs against the Detroit Lions defense. Anthony Richardson played an amazing game last week, building a strong foundation of confidence to build off of that Jets defense going into this Lions game, where he needs to figure out the weakness for this Lions defense is the slot position. This is where Josh Downs primarily plays. This is going to be an area where he needs to focus because the Lions are allowing the most completions and yards to slot wide receivers this season. So you're looking at a matchup that is a perfect marriage for Anthony Richardson to keep building on that confidence and Josh Downs to hit a high ceiling this week against the Lions defense, who already allow production to wide receivers in fantasy at the position. So go ahead and slide them into those starting lineups. Now to jump into my Week 12 sleepers. Now, I got a few guys for you because you got 6 teams on bye, some notable players out. So if you're on the fence about some of these guys or you're not too sure, I got a couple players that should be hitting their highest ceilings this weekend. Bucky Irving against the Giants is my first guy up for Week 12 as my sleeper. There is a matchup here where you have to look at it as, look, Bucky Irving has been explosive this season, and you have the Giants who are allowing the most explosive plays to running backs this season at the highest rate. This is a perfect marriage where Bucky Irving is getting more touches than Rachaad White in the last 4 games since he's been back from injury. And you got to understand, you look at the snaps, yes, Rachaad White is on the field a little bit more. That's because he's pass blocking and running routes. Where Bucky Irving, he can get involved in the passing game as well, especially in this game where the Giants are allowing at a high rate at the top of the table to running backs catching passes out of that backfield. So you got to have Bucky Irving in this matchup where it's just a great play to hit the highest ceiling, where you got some notable running backs out on bye this week. Next up, we got Kmet as my next sleeper this week against the Vikings. It's very simple. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. In the last 3 of the 4 games he's played against the Vikings, he's put up double-digit fantasy points, 15 being the ceiling. Now, we're looking at this week where we have 6 teams on bye, so notable tight ends out. This isn't the sexiest play. You're swinging high for the fences, but there is something trending here, man. Now that Shane Waldron is out of the way, Caleb Williams and Kmet last week put up their most productive games in the last 4 weeks. So this is a game where I think he can get loose because of the familiarity, and Caleb Williams is desperate for a good game. So Kmet having some type of valid relevancy in this offense is going to be great, with Thomas Brown being a former tight ends coach for the Rams. He's from the Sean McVay tree. I know he was the offensive coordinator over in Carolina, but to just see what he had to work with. So he knows what he's doing with this tight end position. So I expect Kmet to continue on being involved in this Bears offense. Next up, I got Matthew Stafford against the Eagles. Now, this may look crazy to you. You might be scared to play him this week, but I know I'm a Rams fan, so please take what I say in consideration, that it might sound a little biased. But I'm telling you now, Matthew Stafford with a healthy O-line, which Rob Havenstein is trending at the time of recording into playing this Sunday. You're looking at Matthew Stafford with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua both healthy, and on the perimeter, they are the most dangerous guys on that field. You're looking at Kyren Williams as well, coming off one of his best games last week on an efficiency level, 5.6 yards per carry. That is a season high for him. Everything is starting to click. Do we remember how dangerous Matthew Stafford and this Rams offense was coming out of that bye? Once it started getting colder outside, once November hit, the Rams were dangerous. So I'm going to be taking the chance that Sean McVay is going to be testing these Eagles corners, these DBs, that they're all the hype they got, but they haven't faced a complete team like this all season long. They faced Joe Burrow without T. Higgins. They faced Jaden Daniels as a rookie. Listen, that is going to be tested this weekend, and the Rams have the highest ceiling because they're going to be scoring a ton of points at home, by the way, and Matthew Stafford is going to be hitting those QB1 numbers this week. Now to get into my streamer for Week 12 is pretty simple here as a plug and play with some notable defenses on bye, and it's going to be the Buccaneers that you could stream this week, the week after that, and the week after that for the next 3 weeks. You could pick up the Bucs, but understand, have your expectations in order with this defense. They have not been a defense that's been getting high sack production, high takeaways on the rate, but this is a defense that can maintain them points based on the matchups they got for the next 3 weeks. They got Tommy DeVito this week, where I'm not too sure why they went to Tommy DeVito over Drew Lock, who has more experience, but it doesn't matter because you're looking at this Giants offensive line allowing the 6th highest pressure rate in the NFL right now. So I think this Bucs defense can build on those 10 standard points we got to add on a couple of those points, but also keep in mind that they do give up some yards on the ground. Tyrone Tracy could get loose and put up some yards and create some scoring opportunities, but just have your expectations in order. But hey, you got 6 teams on bye. You have to play who you have to play. So this wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe, and make sure you guys leave a comment below on your start and sit questions, and I'll try to answer them all the way up until game time. You guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.